Welcome everyone to the GreenFire television show. Welcome. Today is July 18th, Midsummer Night's Dream here in High July. So this particular little portion will be called Embrace High July. So welcome everyone out there. Hope you're doing okay. I invite everyone to embrace High July in whatever way that means to you. Embrace it because it's kind of like a timeless time. Like July is almost like stepping into infinity, where time just ceases to exist for like an entire month. So please go out, go in, get into High July and embrace it. Embrace High July in whatever creative spirit way that moves you. The spirit that moves you, maybe actualize that spirit in High July, because it's a special time, dear friends, and we want everyone to amplify High July by embracing it, celebrating it, being a little kid, a magical child. Who knows? You got lovers, you got friends. You got inner journeys to make. And these inner journeys are all part of the awakening of consciousness, roundabouts here, hither, thither, and yon. So yeah, so we're here in the middle of High July, July 18th, and there is a celebration that we have. There was a peace pole was planted up at Jones Park Peace Pavilion in Cedar Rapids, and it was July 14th on a Saturday, and it was where the Veterans for Peace, as well as Women for Peace, and different groups of Cedar Rapids and Iowa City came together, and this was a handmade peace pole. And it said, "May peace prevail on earth," in 20 languages. 20 languages. May peace prevail upon earth. And it provided the beginning of mirth on earth for many, 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 many seventh generation yet to come. So this was dedicated to the seventh generation yet to come, in honor and reverence for those who have already passed, on whose shoulders we stand, both activists, peace activists, as well as friends, relatives of those who lost their lives in some ungodly, immoral, unjust, corrupt wars like Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Central America, just the last 50 years of this country's warmongering presence. These Veterans for Peace got together and made a peace pole that said, "May peace prevail," in 20 different languages, and may peace prevail on earth, and for the rainbow hoops of all the nations, people of all colors, red, yellow, black, and white. And this is this was given to the Veterans for Peace as they worked with the Cedar Rapids Street and Garden Department, and they have put it up very high in an overlook that you can see. It's a beautiful view up there. And I invite everyone to go up and look at this beautiful peace pole up in Cedar Rapids at Jones Pavilion and Overlook, just off of Wilson and Bowling Street. You can find it. It's Jones Park. And it's up at the Pavilion Overlook up there. And you will see that it's handmade. And you can see the beginning of the spinning of 144,000 Rainbow Dreamer wheels with the planting of that peace pole. And Iowa City has a peace pole down at the Iowa City Public Library. There is one at Scattergood School, which is at West Branch. It's there at the Hickory Grove Chapel. There's a peace pole there. There's 2 peace poles up at Mount Mercy in Cedar Rapids. There's a peace pole up at the Mennonite Church in Cedar Falls. There's one in Presbyterian Church in Elkader, and one at the Unity Church in Cedar Rapids. So can you believe it or not, there has been there's 8 peace poles now in Iowa. And I was at the very first peace pole planting that we did at the Mennonite Church, in a community Mennonite church in Cedar Falls. That was 1989. So I invite people to take a moment to reflect on what that peace pole might be for you, and an invitation to think about peace. Because we're in these times when we want to slow our minds down and reflect on another, the road less traveled, which is reflecting on peace and how we can let peace prevail upon earth in our daily lives, in our daily walk. It's not a big deal, but it's a really big deal. So, like, it's kind of a confluence of the opposites, you know, where you have a convergence of the opposites, of the polarities of war and peace, but the coming together is this peace pole. It's a vertical axis which says through practice and through meditation we can have peace in all the nations, which is an Om prayer that the Nichiren monks began at the Hiroshima peace flame. In Hiroshima, they planted the first peace pole there way back in the 1940s sometime. And the Om goes Om Nam Yoho Renge Kyo. And the monks, the Buddhist monks, have traveled the planet in peace walks with their chants and their saffron robes and their chanting and their drumming that Om prayer that I just said, Om Nam Yoho Renge Kyo. And since that time, there have been 140,000 peace poles all around planet Earth. So there's these little meridians of light. We call it planetary acupressure for peace. These little meridians of light that the peace poles represent. A little meridian of light on the organism of the sentient organism of the planet called Gaia, or Sarasvatri. And that's east and west. And in that perception, it shifts the dimensional vocabulary into much more of a peace and wisdom discourse. A peace and wisdom discourse is with that mind shift. So in that sense of embracing High July, we couldn't have had a better day than that Saturday when we had, I think, 6 or 7 of the state representatives and senators were there. The mayor of Cedar Rapids was there, and many people running for office came and gave their connection about what their contribution, and they all mentioned peace as their primary contribution to the community. So this is kind of the background. We're building in a background for this golden eternity of this GreenFire hour through embracing High July. And nothing better to embrace High July than to embrace the harmonic overtones of peace itself, whether it's through dance, music, laughter, even celebration, or silent meditation. It's the breathing in and the breathing out that really counts. We breathe in peace, and we breathe out love. And we breathe in love, and we breathe out peace. And we breathe in peace, and we breathe out love. And we breathe in love, and we breathe out peace. And we do this by taking long breaths, both in and out, slow, deep breaths. Breathing in peace. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. And breathing out love. Oh yeah, that's all right. Breathing in peace. Oh yeah, that's okay. And breathing out love. That's good. Breathing in peace. Breathing in love. And breathing out peace. And breathing in peace. And breathing out love. and breathing in love and breathing out peace. This, take a few seconds every day to deep breathe like this. Changes your perception and changes your reflection and your appreciation of every day. And as one wise person said, it's a spiritual duty to appreciate the beauty every day. So when you appreciate the beauty every day, that's within the breathing in and the breathing out of the slow, deep breathing of breathing in love and breathing out peace. It's a simple shift that opens up amplifies our sensory fields, both listening, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling. All five senses, and even a sixth sense, which would be activation of a little bit of compassion through the skylight of intuition, which is in the top of our head. It's called the crown of creation. That's where we receive our inspiration. And so that is the perception of the image. When we're going to do some facing the gods here, and in that perception, having mentioned the peace pole planting at Jones Park in Cedar Rapids, and the one in Iowa City at the public library, well, what you know that the mayor showed up, and what you know, you gotta have heart. The mayor shows up and his name is Hart. So it's very kind of cool. He's really cool. His name is Hart, Mayor Hart. So thank you, Mayor Hart, in a certain way. And everyone, all the veterans and all the friends of the veterans, basically to be a member of Veterans for Peace, you don't have to be a veteran. You are welcome if you are for peace. So a lot of people are not veterans who are members of Veterans for Peace. You'd be surprised how many of your friends are. Join up. It's a good thing, if you can, and if not, walk another path of peace. It's all good. In that perception, we're going to revisit the driftless. This driftless has taken us by mystery, and it has been the locus foci, for the last 6 or 7 weeks now. Almost the entire summer has been the locus foci of the driftless. This piece was just written within an hour, the golden eternity of an hour. And that's very grateful for that. This is called Embrace High July, having to do with the 6 spiral dance at Driftless. Here at Glastonbury Tors, we enter unsealed time, time between the stellas, entering stellar time to reclaim our stellar mind, as we are all starborn. And Sophia is our guide, Pistis Sophia. A little respect, a little reverence here, a little reverence for her. A little reverence for her, for she is the guide of our mind, as Avalokitesvara is the Bodhisattva the Buddha sends you to when you want to open the doorway of the heart and compassion, the doorway in love emanations, opening up the gate, 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 parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. And the whole thing is gone, gone, gone. Bodhisvaha. Gone, gone, gone. And this is the Heart Sutra of the Buddha of compassion. The Buddha has come through Avalokitesvara. The Buddha sent the Chila to Avalokitesvara, a Bodhisattva, to help open the gate of love and compassion. The Heart Sutra, the Heart Prayer of the Heart. And this whole thing holds together by who knows whatever or whomever. And this planet drum beats in the heart chakra of the heartland. And it's an ebb and flow of an epic flow that's beginning to go viriditas verite, vertical, with an afterglow. And this flow is the undertow of a whole culture in chaos, whole worlds in collision, the world at the end of time, the world at the end of this dispensation, with a stand-up mind that even a comedian would sit on. Well, this ain't no stand-up mantra of stupid time. This is time out of time, time out of mind, time out of time. And this vertical vertex invites, activates, and initiates infinity mind and our true place in it. The colors are rainbow. And we say, here at Glastonbury Tors, we enter unsealed time, rolling away the dew, rolling away the stone from the sepulchre of our dark age of Kali Yuga, the dark iron age of the rage in the cages of the ego of the Kali Yuga. Here at Glastonbury Tors, we enter unsealed time, time between the stellas, and Sophia is our guide. Pistis Sophia, a little respect, a little reverence here, a little reverence here, a little reverence for her, for she is the guide of our mind. As Avalokitesvara is the Bodhisattva the Buddha sends you to when you want to open the doorway of your heart and the doorway of compassion. The doorway in love emanations, opening up the gate. Gate, gate, parasam gate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, parasam gate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, parasam gate, bodhisvaha. And the whole thing is gone, gone, gone. And this whole thing holds together by who knows whatever or whomever. And this planet drum beats in the heart chakra of the heartland, and it's an ebb and flow of an epic flow that's beginning to go viriditas, the verite, beginning to go vertical, with an afterglow, and this flow in the underground, here at the PATV underground, and this flow is the undertow of a whole culture in chaos, whole worlds in collision, the world at the end of time, the world of no time dispensation, the world at the end of any dispensation, the end of it all, at the end of time, with a stand-up mind that even a comedian would sit on. Well, this ain't no stand-up mantra of stupid time. This time out of time, this time out of mind is time out of time. And this vertical vertex invites, activates, and initiates infinity mind and our true place in it, our true place in it in infinity mind. The colors are rainbow, and the whole show and the whole game board is lit up as it goes galactic. We stop here and invite hextillions of bodhisattvas in. And the whole show and the whole game board is lit up and is gone galactic. We stop here and invite hextillions of bodhisattvas in, and we invite saints of all the ages in, east and west, the ragas and the sages, east, west, north by northwest through the southwest door at Backbone, in little portion of Iowa driftless. Over in Illinois lay Cincinnati Mound, in southeast driftless, emanations of meditations in mother rays are seen, heard, and felt crystal clear in universes far, far, far from here. They are listening in, tuning in, helping us from an off-planet heart chakra, hyperdimensional space frequency. These are sutras of the divine milieu. These are sutras of divine milieu from our suitors, from the Amor field, and this is all grace. And this is all grace. They are listening in, tuning in, helping us from an off-planet heart chakra, hyperdimensional space frequency. These are sutras of divine milieu from our suitors, from the Amor field, and this is all grace. This amazing sacred space called driftless. Here the veils are thinning and millions are waking up. Here the veils are thinning and millions are waking up right along this frequency, this bandwidth, and this right-on frequency. And Wyalusing is the waterfalls in Wisconsin driftless, and Wyalusing is waterfalls of Wisconsin driftless, splashing all around this frequency in ions of the deep. They are listening in, tuning in, holding the vision, helping us from an off-planet heart chakra, hyperdimensional space frequency. These are sutras of divine milieu from our suitors, from the Amor field, and this is all grace. This amazing sacred space called driftless. Here the veils are thinning and millions are waking up right along this frequency. The right on frequency of the left hand of God. The right on frequency of the left hand of God. And Wyalusing the Dextra Dei frequency. The right on frequency of Dextra Dei of the left hand of God. And Wyalusing is the waterfalls of Wisconsin driftless, splashing all around this frequency in ions of the deep ion. For this new dispensation, and it ain't easy to get to this cold water cave, and it ain't easy to get to this cold water cave. You gotta engage your inner archaeologist and become spelunker supreme to reconnoiter here, dear friend. Here, Ruckus and your backpack are your best friends. Here, Ruckus and your backpack are your best friends. And you come down from Wadena and the Volga River, and you come down from Wadena and the Adena culture of the mountains people, and the Volga River, and you enter into Mystery Tree, Prism Asymmetry, at Cold Mountain Zen Retreat Center. And you come down from Wadena and the Volga River, and you enter into Mystery Tree Prism Asymmetry at Cold Mountain Zen Retreat Center and Communia Farm. This is where bluebirds come out and sing somewhere over the rainbow, and those dreams really do come true. And you come down from Wadena and the Volga River, and you enter into Mystery Play, and you enter into Mystery Tree, Crooked Tree, Prism Asymmetry at Cold Mountain Zen Retreat Center, the Cold Mountain Zen Retreat Center, and Communia Farm. This is where bluebirds come out and play and sing somewhere over the rainbow. And these dreams really do come true. And these dreams really do come true. And these dreams really do come true. And the Turkey River kindly blends into the Yellow River. And the Turkey River kindly bends to ease us around the bend. And the Turkey River kindly blends into Yellow River. And this whole thing is convoluted as the spirals at Glastonbury. And the spires at New Melleray inspire. And the spires at New Melleray inspire angels and seraphim and saints. And the spires at New Melleray inspire angels and seraphim and saints to center and ground here in the Abbey's sacred ground, and all around in an alleluia of a higher union, and all around in an alleluia of a higher union, into Holy Communion, into this Holy Communion of the Holy Trinity, into this Holy Communion of the Holy Trinity, love, light, and life. Love, light, and life, the Holy Trinity. And these prayer wheels turn in midair. And these prayer wheels turn in midair at 3:30 a.m. And these prayer wheels turn in midair at mid-noon. And these prayer wheels turn at midair at eventide. And these prayer wheels turn in midair at eventide. And these prayer wheels turn in midair at Compline. In all this sacred silence, in all this sacred silence, the prayer works go on. The prayer works go on. And this forms a sacred union of the deep mind in contemplation. Om Namyoho Renge Kyo. Gate Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. And the mind is gone, gone, gone. This is a little portion of the spiral dance of the Glastonbury tours of the Driftless at Backbone, at Waialusing, at Sinsinawa, and soon to be other places yet to be named and known. This is Terra Incognita, journey into the Driftless and entering dream time. Entering dream time and revitalizing Ital, going vertical, the ascension, the phenomenon of man, planetary ascension, earth ascension, the phenomenon of man, vertical, peace pole, ascension, earth ascending, Earth ascending. Earth ascending. As the veils are thinning, and we here in the heart of the heartland are embracing this high July in the frequency of the ions, of not only the ionosphere, but way beyond and way beyond the west of the ion. Here at Glastonbury Taurus, in high Himalaya mind. In high Himalaya, embrace high July. Here in high Himalaya, embrace high July. Chop wood, carry water. Everything changes. So in that perception, walking into the deep ecology mind, we will move into notes from the Iowa City Underground. We got to take care of each other along this lost highway. Think outside the bucks. The bucks that drive folks crazy. The bucks that create speed and violence and throw up buildings of insanity on South Dubuque Street just because of greed. And the business contractor jocks that'll cut you off and chop you in half in the name of the demon seed of speed, who will trounce you, shut down your neighborhood, and cut you off at the stoplight, cut your nose off to jump in front of you so he can race to the next red light just 20 feet ahead. This is the dynamic of a culture dead on speed. The demon seed of speed. Just a different form of crack amphetamine, and it's a daily drug fix called gasoline. Ethanol, if you will, Mr. Grassley. And you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Grassley? And you don't know what time it is, do you, Mr. Grassley? This drug fix called gasoline, ethanol, unsafe at any speed. And this greed is a pandemic intravenous infusion of confusion every day on the highway of congestion. This speed affects all aspects of daily life. Its addiction is hyperbolic and exponential in its carcinoma effect. The carcinoma endemic in cars is now pandemic. Its daimon is greed. Its drug of delivery is speed. And no planet weatherman can predict the outcome of this. Straight into the abyss. And no planet weatherman can predict the outcome of this. Straight into the abyss. Time to think outside the bucks. From this planet weather underground, this PATV planet weather underground. That's why we got to take care of each other. We got to take care of each other out here along this lost highway. But you need a lost highway, dear friend. Out here along this lost highway. You need a lost highway to be found, to empty the slate, to create a new tabula rasa, to forgive yourself with grace, to create some new sanity. And the times, they ain't have been changing for a long time, till the weather vane is at a standstill and the weatherman is given a forecast from this Iowa City underground, and the subterraneans and the Dharma bums are sitting here in this Sangha, learning a new Dharma in this Shambhala full moon of love and light. the Easter promise of Jesus, the peace of Pentecost on the Pentecrest, the Wesak full moon of Buddha light, the harmonic convergence of Jesus' love and Buddha light on the third eye night full moon of the vernal equinox, triadic note structures of love and light in late May crown of creation. And this is all filtering through a love light. And this is all filtering through a love light of etheric delight, which stuns the whole field of the planetary commons. And the Iowa City Underground picks it up now. And the Iowa City Underground picks it up now along the blue flowering wall of PATV Underground on South Dubuque Street. This is where the clothing is shared for free, and other necessities and other goods and non-necessities. This is where we begin again to think outside the box. And the Iowa City Underground picks it up now along the blue flowering wall called Loving Kindness of the PATV Underground. And this mural of the blue flowering wall of loving kindness, this is where the clothing is shared for free, and other necessities and other goods and non-necessities. This is where we begin again to think outside the box. Why? Because you can, dear friend. My dear friend, and it ain't free and easy, and it ain't heavy, 'cause he's my brother, and it ain't heavy, 'cause she's my sister. And somehow there begins to be seen a little joy of the journey, and you hear a guitar lick or two, and you hear a guitar lick or two wafting in and through this underground, and we've lost others along the way, along this lost highway. And we've lost others along the way, along this lost highway. And yet the highwaymen still play. They play songs that fill you to the marrow. And yet the highwaymen still play. They play songs that fill you to the marrow and keep your bucket full, and an 80-pound maul, a huge sledgehammer comes slamming down on the local mall. And the weatherman tells one and all, the harder they come, the harder they fall. One and all, the Weyerhaeuser Planetary Axeman, Paul Bunyan, the Weyerhaeuser Planetary Axeman, Paul Bunyan, Attila the stockbroker, and the Bluto bulldozer tries to roll on. The real estate construction developer jock whose creative destruction causes his own combustion as he goes up in flames, exhumed in the flames of his own greed, confusion, and his own shithouse goes up in flames. And his own shithouse goes up in flames, with only himself to blame. And the journey down low brings us below into the Kiva. And the journey down low brings us below into the Kiva. And the journey down low brings us below into the Kiva. For Kachina twins insight mind. For Kachina twins insight mind. And the Sipapu leads below to the worlds before this time. And the Sipapu leads below to the worlds before this time. And the Sipapu above leads up and through and into the skylight of intuition. And this whole thing shines through translucence in openness mind, translucence in oneness mind, translucence in omega mind, notes of a third eye kind. And we are beginning to think outside the box. Because the buck stopped yesterday, pleading nolo contendere, to their ability to be in play. They're all pooped out in their globalization overreach. A bank, a skyscraper, a loan too far. And these here are notes from the Iowa City Underground in these American states, not written for DC shit for brains, written on the subterranean walls for the eyes of the future, wonderkin looking in, the seventh generation yet to come. These are notes beyond the prophets, caused by thinking outside the box, written in kind by Ruckus and all his Luddite berserker kin. Hoka hey, it's a good day to die. Hoka hey, aho. And we are beginning. And the subterraneans and the Dharma bums are sitting here in this Sangha learning a new Dharma. In this Shambhala full moon of love and light, the Easter promise of Jesus, the peace of Pentecost on the Pentecrest, the Wesak full moon of Buddha light, the harmonic convergence of Jesus love and Buddha light, on the third eye night full moon of the vernal equinox, triadic note structure of love and light, in late May crown of creation, and this is all filtering through a love light of etheric delight, which stuns the whole field of the planetary commons, and the Iowa City Underground picks it up now, along the blue flowering wall of PATV Underground, the blue flowering wall of loving kindness. This is where clothing is shared for free, and other necessities, and other kinds, and other goods. This is where we begin anew to think outside the box. Why? Because you can, my dear friend. And it ain't free and easy, and it ain't heavy. And it ain't free and easy, and it ain't heavy, because he's my brother. And somehow there begins to be seen a little joy of the journey, a little joy in the morning. And you hear a guitar lick or two, and you hear a guitar riff or two. And you hear a guitar lick or two wafting in and through this underground, and we've lost others along the way, along this lost highway. And we've lost others along the way, along this lost highway, and yet the highwaymen keep singing, and they still play. They play songs that fill you to the marrow and keep your bucket full. And an 80-pound maul, a huge sledgehammer comes slamming down on the local mall, and the weatherman tells one and all, the harder they come, the harder they fall. One and all, the Weyerhaeuser planetary axeman, the slasher, the thrasher, the clear cutter, the killer of trees, the killer of forests, the planetary tree killer of Weyerhaeuser, the planetary axeman Paul Bunyan, Attila the stockbroker, and the Bluto bulldozer of Caterpillar tries to roll on, the real estate construction developer jock whose creative destruction causes his own combustion as he goes up in flames, exhumed in the fumes of his own greed, confusion, and his own shithouse goes up in flames with only himself to blame. And the journey down low brings us below into the Kiva, for Kachina twins insight mind, And the Sapapu leads below to the worlds before this time. And the Sapapu above leads up through and into the skylight of intuition. And this whole thing shines through translucence. In openness mind, in oneness mind, notes of a third eye kind. And we are beginning to think outside the box. Because the Bucks stopped yesterday, pleading nolo contendere to their ability to be in play. They're all pooped out in their globalization overreach. A bank, a skyscraper, alone too far. And these here are notes from the Iowa City Underground in these American states, not written for DC shit for brains. These are written on the subterranean walls for the eyes of the future, the wonderkin looking in for the seventh generation yet to come. And these are written on the subterranean walls, and these are notes beyond the prophets, caused by thinking outside the bucks. These are written in kind by Ruckus and all his Luddite berserker kin. Hoka hey. Think outside the bucks. Coming around the riverside curve, the Palace of Dreams occurs. In front of 528 South Dubuque Street, there is a tall leaning tree. It's a magnetic deviation zone, an anomalous phenomena of learning in the Palace of Dreams. And Art Scrotum Stroker doesn't live there, because he thinks inside the bucks. Always plotting, always scheming, always demanding, never learning, never giving, never forgiving. He sits inside his MBA suite, always calculating, always subdividing the real estate he doesn't even own. The real estate he doesn't even own, he's always subdividing. He sits there night and day in front of his screen, squeezes out the last demons of his hedge fund. That is his entire foreplay for the day, as he always thinks inside the bucks. And not a whole lot of people know about him, and not a whole lot of people know about him as he hides behind screens from wake up to drop dead away sleep, counting his profits instead of sheep. And when you come around Riverside Curve into the Palace of Dreams in River City, and when you come around Riverside Curve into the Palace of Dreams in River City, you don't think about these things. They are horizontal. You begin to learn a new way. You begin to think outside the box. What does this mean? It means you vacate the scene, the horizontal scene of top-down authoritarian mind. You vacate the scene, the horizontal scene of top-down authoritarian mind. The cultural created intentional chaos that keeps the sheep from ever looking up. The same horizontal scene that has as its dogma for the religion of churchianity, the shock jock stockbroker developers, the wrecking ball whoopee crane of creative destruction, of built-in obsolescence, of the grim raper called capitalism, in the belly of the beast, of the whorehouse called Babylon. To think outside the box, what does this mean? It means you vacate the scene, the horizontal scene of top-down authoritarian mind, cultural created intentional chaos that keeps the sheep from ever looking up. The same horizontal scene that has as its dogma for the religion of churchianity, the shock jock stockbroker developers, the wrecking ball whoopee crane of creative destruction, of built-in obsolescence of the grim raper called capitalism, in the belly of the beast of the whorehouse called Babylon. And to this think outside the bucks is Exodus. And to thus think outside the bucks is Exodus. And to thus think outside the bucks is Exodus. Exodus from the horizontal plane and the pain of the capitalist booger man. Everyone is staked upon that horizontal plane. In plain view is their daily 8 to 5 pain. Everyone is staked upon where telephone poles are crucifixes upon the earth, whose talking wires sputter the offal of Babylon gutter talk of Attila the stockbroker. Attila the stockbroker, and this hum never lets up. The hum, the white noise, the static of the killer man, capitalist, Attila the stockbroker, this hum never lets up. In the beta wave capital called Empire. Why do they call it enterprise? Because they got you thinking, if you enter, you get a prize. What they don't tell you is some Wall Street sucker is going to come up behind you and double rabbit punch you and double sucker punch you by surprise, and that's your prize, sucker. It's called bankruptcy in good old Babylon. And that's horizontal thinking. Inside the bucks, on the stake plane, in your face, raw baboon Babylon. Capitalism. It ain't got no moral compass. It's just got the demon seed of greed. And no cat in the hat can pull your shit back, Jack. 'Cause this shit for brains, as a combined ravager, as a raper of the commons, and all good things, even common sense. Why? Because of people who think inside the bucks. Why? Because of people who think inside the bucks. So now, dear friend, let's take a pause right here. Let's just take a pause right here. Let's breathe in peace and breathe out love. And let's breathe in love and let's breathe out peace. And let's breathe in peace and let's breathe out love. Love is all there is. Let's breathe in love. Let's breathe out peace. Let's breathe in peace. Let's breathe out love. Let's breathe in love. Let's breathe out peace. Let's breathe deep here. Let's now bring this whole thing to a standstill. Let's begin to look up. Let's begin to go vertical. Let's begin to think outside the box. That means the radical thought that a lot of things are free. Let's begin to look at the space between molecules, the space between objects. This stuff is necessary. This is the right stuff. This stuff don't carry no unholy. This stuff don't carry no unholy. This is beyond all dogma. This is beyond all orthodoxy, beyond all hierarchy. This is beyond all authority. This is beyond all states. This is beyond all institutions. This is vertical, dear friend. This is free. Where we begin to set the terminology to think outside the box. This is not necrophiliac thinking. This is not love of death thinking. This is biophiliac thinking. This is love of light thinking, where biocracy is the key in the commons. Round, 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 the riverside curve. Round, 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 the riverside curve. The grand round of things, where the seventh generation yet to come has a hold on this vision. The seventh generation yet to come has a hold on this vision, which now occurs in this palace of dreams called the Good Red Road, the road of life, which runs north and south, which is vertical. This is vertical on the medicine wheel of life, and it comes in colors everywhere, in the rainbow hoops of biodiversity and cultural diversity, in red, black, white, and yellow hoops of all the nations of humanity. Here, the Time Lords put the hue back into humanity, and this asymmetry is all diversity through biophilia, this love for life on this vertical tree. There is a flowering of the sixth sun on this vertical tree of asymmetry, of biodiversity and cultural diversity. This new sunrise of humanity, this includes you and me. On this new sunrise of humanity, this includes you and me. And the magical child is inside you and me, which gleefully sings, "Wee!" as we think outside the box. And there comes a time when we think outside the box for our very survival, not just our own survival, but for the entire planet's survival. There comes a time, both biodiversity and cultural diversity, we begin by looking at our home as biome, a biophiliac's way of looking, a lover of life way of saying, Om. This biome is our planetary home. Biome, this little blue dot, this blue-green marble water planet is home, our biodome. And when you give an iota, you care inherently about the biota and about the seventh generation yet to come, just as our elders and ancestors cared about us. We are the carriers of the dream wheel, and we yet not know it. We are the seventh generation yet to come of our ancestors, and we don't carry no unholy. We walk on the shoulders of those who came before us. Just a little reverence, just a little respect. We want to give for their ways. And in this third morning of our awakening, we are beginning to believe it, because we don't carry no unholy. We care for the least of these, just as they are. Sometimes in life, we are the least of these. Sometimes, not all the time. Let us not fall in love with the objects purchased by our daily bread. And in this, once upon a time, we have gone liminal into dream time, and we are not turning back. And we have found the path, and we are not turning back. And this is the beginning of the long journey of cosmogenesis. Through this bioregional vision, we enter the Kraton as pioneers, where nature is legislature, and there's a new law, land, air, and water. And may you have and embrace a very high July, dear friends. May blessings be upon you and yours and your kith and kin. Peace.